And immediately there are 2 bomb craters before we've even seen a jar. Just a reminder to stay on the pathways. The plain of jars in northern Laos, it's a pretty interesting place. It was built in 500 BC, so late Iron Age. All the jars are all different shapes and sizes, but this one here is the largest jar. One of them. It's about 2.5 tons and still intact, which is pretty amazing considering that this big hole in the ground is a bomb crater from Vietnam, which obviously destroyed that jar and destroyed all those ones. So this is the largest jar at 2.5 ton, which is pretty cool considering there's a massive bomb crater over there that it survived. And then you've just got some of its friends here. And then in front we have some trenches that were dug during the Indochina Wars in the 1960s, because these trenches overlook the plains where all those jars are. Let's go for a walk down there. And this is the largest collection of jars out of all the sites. At least the largest collection in one place. One of these has a sculpture of a person laying on their side. Only one jar. It's my job today to see if I can find that jar. It's going to be a mission. So apparently it's best to walk around the perimeter of the jars first before entering them. Everyone has just rushed out here and rushed back off to rush to the next site. There's only 3 sites and I've got all day. So according to all the information sign, this site and that cave in the mountain in the distance has seen a lot of battles here from a couple of different wars. I like how they haven't tried to restore the stone jars. They've just let them reside here. They've been here 2,500 years. Man, always makes me a bit emotional walking through places that feel eternal. Whoever built these stone jars wanted them to last forever, and then the people who built them disappeared from history. But I guess no one is ever truly forgotten when you leave legacy. Now you can see the obvious signs of tool markings on the outside. Let's see if I can get my shadow out the way here. Sorry about that. You can see all the tool markings on the outside and each rim is a different thickness, but you can also see the tool markings on the inside as well. But I believe, well, it's just an idea, all the jars are slightly different shaped, so I think the shape of the jar probably is determined by the shape of the rock that it comes from. What do you think? And this one has a rim going all the way around the top. Is that to fit a lid, maybe? Questions. It is nice to have the entire plain of jars, at least this section, all to myself. Who doesn't love 2,000 monoliths first thing in the morning? It's not a very deep cave, but what is interesting is that there are two man-made holes in the ceiling. Now, to me, that means you put that there for airflow. So, were they burning stuff in here? I don't know. So I made two lovely friends over there, a nice French couple, and they walked me over here to show me this is the carving of the person. You can see the head, the arms on either side at the body, and the legs at the ground. This is the only jar that has any kind of inscription on it. I wonder if it was original or if it came later. It's so cool when you come to these places and people are geeking out as much as what I am, because these nice two fellas over there, I showed them which jar had the inscription of the person. Oh, and they were so happy because it takes so long to find it. But walking around these jars looking for one jar in particular is actually a really cool way to spend the afternoon, morning I should say. I haven't been here that long, although I have been here at site 1 for close to 3 hours. Oh, how can you not love this place? And now we're at the site 2 of the Plain of Jars. Not quite as big as the first site. This one only has 93 jars, but there are no cars parked outside, so hopefully no visitors. So the cool thing to notice is that because there's been no bomb explosions in this area, as you can see, apart from that one in the distance there, all the jars are standing reasonably upright, which makes it really hard to see inside them. These guys are a little bit smaller, about 1.5 meters. Full of water, so they're very well built still. watertight after 2,500 years is that this colossal tree that I'm looking at grew from the very center of one of the jars. It must have dropped the seed inside because this jar has been split open and is surrounding the base of this tree 360 degrees. Look, that's the original stone right there. So the jungle has reclaimed a jar. They do have some decent size. This one is at least 2.2 meters, and the one laying down on its side must have been even bigger. Now the stones that these are carved from were quarried 2 kilometers away. So how did people transport the stones from 2.5 kilometers away in 500 BC? Maybe they rolled them, maybe they used a lot of tree trunks. More questions than answers. Site 2 is not placed in a forest because those trees wouldn't have been there 2,500 years ago. Those trees over there. These are placed on a hill overlooking the surrounding valley. There's one of the discs everyone talks about. We're still in site 2, but we've just crossed over to the next hill. And this is the valley that it overlooks. These are one of the discs that they talk about on the information plate, with a person-shaped figurine, which would be the downside of the lid once you put it on top of the jar. So check this out. Inside this guy there is a pine cone. And I've reached in and just taken it out, because otherwise in 100 years a pine tree will grow and destroy that. But sadly, this one next to it, as you can see, it already has like dozens of little plants growing in the mud that's collected in the bottom. I can't get to those. I don't want to disrupt it too much. I just hope that, you know, in 100 years this one's not destroyed by another tree of the forest. So we're at site 3. A little bit of a ride to get out here. Absolutely nobody here. I think we're going to have the whole place to ourselves. There was just a friendly reminder back over there with the ticket sales lady about unexploded ordnance in the area. It's still a thing from the Vietnam War, so we've got the whole place to ourselves. Stay on the trail, folks. It is currently 1:30 in the afternoon and super hot. Sunscreen on, But you know, just baking. I'm bumping into the same people throughout the day, which is normal, but it feels like people are rushing this site a little bit. I mean, there's no mosquitoes like the last one, and there are lots of jars to look at, but you know, I guess people get bored quickly. Oh, check this out. This is unfortunate. We have a concrete jar here, and we have a tree of the forest growing out of it. Now, I'm not here to destroy things, but in 50 to 100 years, that'll be a massive tree, and that stone jar will be gone. Bugger. The stone jars of Phonsavan in northern Laos. Done. I loved it. It's not as big and imposing as Stonehenge, but it doesn't need to be. It's more the fact of this is a very old place. And sometimes the old places are worth seeing.